Bad Ideas Productions, and today we're going to talk about TV shows OSTs. In other words, music that I like from TV shows. I'm just gonna name like five or six different TV shows that I like, and specifically I like their soundtracks, their original soundtracks. So, music that I'm not picking music that they just picked into like great moment and made it into a great moment, like Stranger Things, Running Up the Hill. No, I'm gonna pick music that was made specifically for that show and that I just like for whatever reason I may say in the video. And it could either be one song or it could be the whole soundtrack. First one is going to be an anime called Toradora, and it's my favorite anime right now. And it's not the whole sound, it's not the whole album. It's just one in particular. And if you've seen the show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's called Lost My Pieces. And this one is literally every time I hear it, because the scene is just so impactful and it just got me teary eyed the first time I watched it. And it's so good that it's one of those scenes that I go back on YouTube and I just watch it. And it's really a scene that I really want to go back and watch the whole show just to get that emotional impact that it builds up to this point in the story. And this song just hits it home. And that's one of the examples where it's not the whole album. It's just one particular song that I really, really love, and it just hits every time, and it has a great progression and it swells beautifully. So on to the next. The next one is the main theme during the intro credits of Daredevil, the Netflix show, not the new one that just came out, the Born Again, but the one from like 5 years ago. Why I like this one is because every time, this is the probably the only theme that of a show that I don't skip. You know, a lot of the shows like on Netflix just skip intro. I never skip it. I leave it because it builds you up and it just it pumps you up to watch the rest of the episode, right? To watch the hour long episode. And that's exactly what you want from a theme. Usually I never stick from, but this song is so great that I do. We're gonna go talk about another anime, and it's called Mob Psycho 100. It's one of my favorite animes that I watched. Probably the first what is called the shonen anime that I've ever seen. And this one, it is the whole soundtrack from season 1 to season 3. All of it, I love it. I just love the uniqueness of it and how immediately when you hear it, you could just think of Mob. You just think of this character, this innocence, he's very powerful yet very socially inept, and he just really wants to just improve as a human throughout the show. The composer does a great job of portraying the innocence and the whimsy that comes with Mob, and how he's just a great person, and it comes off with his soundtrack and most of the songs. And then when the battle music comes on, it just hits just as hard. And I really love the weird and unique musical additions that each of these have, because this soundtrack sounds like no other anime soundtracks that I've heard, because it just uses weird instruments that I've never heard of, and it's great. I love the whole soundtrack. Is Batman Beyond, the show, the animated show. I was gonna pick Batman the animated series, but I feel like everyone knows that the music is amazing, so I'm gonna pick the spin-off, which is Batman Beyond. And that one, there's one specific one I love, but you can hear all of it. All of it's great. It's very futuristic and it's very funky. Yeah, there's kind of like a influence of house music to a certain degree, and sometimes techno even, which I'm not a big fan of, but it just works with the show. But the one specific song I'm talking about is called Farewell, and I can't find it on Spotify. You gotta go on Google. I mean, you gotta go on YouTube, and it's amazing. It's in the first episode, the first two-part episode of the show, and I think it's in the second episode of it. I don't remember, but when he enters when Batman saves him from the gang, like he's about to enter the gates to Bruce Wayne's mansion. So when he's about to enter, the song pops in, and it's just great. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not really the most, if you want to go to another channel, explain why music is great and why it does what it does to a person and why it affects them. But to me, all you gotta know is I like it. Sounds good. What more do you want? One of my favorite OSTs as that I hear, and it's just on my Spotify playlist, is The Last of Us, the whole Last of Us soundtrack. So obviously it's a little bit cheating because it was a show, it was a game before. But if I and I think I did read this that some of the music is just made specific for the show, but obviously the best song from it is the theme made that was made from the video game, just put into the show, and it's amazing, right? It has this weird kind of country, kind of Spanish mix, and like when he's playing the guitar, it just sounds so good, and it builds up, and it kind of makes you feel like you're in this apocalyptic world that they are in, and there's danger always, but it's kind of soothing as well. Let's do some honorable mentions. So another anime I like the music is Samurai Champloo. It's a mix of you know old, old school hip hop with some Japanese music instrumentations in there. Another anime is called Heaven Delusion, also amazing. My favorite one from that is called Pastures. Another one I love is Regular Show. Regular Show has a great OST. That one is really diverse. Another one that's pretty diverse too is this a weird one is South Park. I think South Park does a great job of going from one genre to another genre, and they do a good job. Like not the music they make, the music they make is amazing too, but like there's scenes, like for example a scene where Carmen is getting sad, or the show is satirically getting a deep, and then the piano chords hit. I could never find what song that one specifically, but they always do it when things get sad and the piano hits and the violins and they go a little exaggerated. That one's good. It's actually like unironically a good track. That's my favorite TV show OSTs, and I'm probably gonna do the movie OSTs next. And yeah, Bad Just Production.